Welcome back to Nation of Glory. Today we bring you the story of a woman whose talent, charm, and vulnerability made her one of the most beloved actresses of her generation. A woman who captured the hearts of millions with her quirky roles, who defined an era with her dramatic performances, who faced trials that could have ended her career, but who found a way to rise again and remind the world of her brilliance. This is the story of Winona Laura Horowitz, known professionally as Winona Ryder. Stay with us until the end, because this is a journey of dreams, resilience, reinvention, and survival. Winona Ryder was born on October 29, 1971, in Winona, Minnesota, the very city that gave her her stage name. She grew up in a family of free thinkers and creative minds. Her parents were intellectuals, writers, and deeply connected to the counterculture movement of the 1960s and 70s. Growing up surrounded by books, art, and music, Winona was destined to explore creativity. But her childhood wasn't without challenges. She was small, shy, and often bullied for her looks and her quiet nature. She didn't quite fit into the mold of what kids around her thought was normal. Yet in those moments of pain, she discovered her love for films and storytelling. For young Winona, movies became more than entertainment, they became an escape. She would watch old films late at night and imagine herself in those worlds. It gave her comfort, it gave her hope, and slowly, it gave her purpose. Acting wasn't just something she wanted to try, it became the dream that would carry her forward. Her journey into Hollywood began in her teens. With her striking eyes, unique aura, and natural ability to connect with emotions, she was cast in her first film, Lucas, in 1986. It wasn't a massive role, but it opened the door. And soon, Winona Ryder's name began to circulate as a young actress with enormous potential. Then came Beetlejuice in 1988. As Lydia Dietz, the goth teenager who could see ghosts, Winona delivered a performance that was both quirky and unforgettable. The role made her stand out instantly. Audiences loved her originality, her authenticity, and the way she made even the strangest characters feel human. In a sea of young Hollywood hopefuls, Winona was different, and that difference made her a star. The late 1980s and early 1990s were her golden years. She starred in Heathers, a dark comedy that became a cult classic, cementing her reputation as the queen of offbeat roles. Then came more serious films, Edward Scissorhands, where she played Kim opposite Johnny Depp, creating one of the most iconic romantic pairings of the decade, and Mermaids, where she shared the screen with Cher. Every role she took seemed to highlight another layer of her talent. But it wasn't just quirky roles anymore. Winona wanted to prove she could handle serious drama, and she did. Her performances in The Age of Innocence and Little Women in the 1990s showed her range, her depth, and her ability to carry complex emotions with grace. She earned critical acclaim, awards, and the love of audiences worldwide. She was no longer just a young star, she was one of Hollywood's leading actresses. Yet, as bright as her career was, her personal life often made headlines. Her relationships, especially her engagement to Johnny Depp, became the subject of intense media attention. The phrase Winona Forever, famously tattooed on Depp's arm, became a symbol of that era. But with fame came pressure, and with pressure came struggles. In the early 2000s, Winona faced a storm that nearly destroyed everything she had built. In 2001, she was arrested for shoplifting in Beverly Hills, an incident that shocked Hollywood and her fans. The media frenzy that followed painted her in an unflattering light, and her career, which had once been unstoppable, seemed to collapse overnight. Roles stopped coming, and the actress who had once been at the top of Hollywood suddenly disappeared from the spotlight. For many, that would have been the end. But Winona Ryder wasn't done. Behind the scenes, she worked on herself, reflected on her choices, and began to rebuild. She didn't rush back into the spotlight. Instead, she chose her moments carefully, reminding the world of her talent on her own terms. Her comeback wasn't loud or flashy. It was patient, thoughtful, and authentic. She returned to acting in smaller roles, steadily regaining respect. And then, in 2016, came the role that would reignite her career, Joyce Byers in Netflix's Stranger Things. As the desperate yet determined mother fighting to save her son, Winona reminded the world why she had once been Hollywood royalty. The performance was raw, emotional, and powerful. It connected with audiences across generations, from those who had grown up watching her in the 80s and 90s, to a brand new generation, discovering her for the first time. Stranger Things didn't just revive Winona Ryder's career, it cemented her legacy. It proved that her talent was timeless, that her ability to tell stories with depth and vulnerability had not faded. Suddenly, Winona was once again a household name, beloved not just for who she had been in the past, but for who she had become. Her story is one of resilience. It's about falling from grace, facing humiliation, and then finding the strength to rise again. Winona Ryder has never pretended to be perfect. She has embraced her flaws, her struggles, and her humanity. That honesty is part of what makes her so beloved. Today, Winona Ryder stands as a symbol of survival in Hollywood. She reminds us that fame is fragile, that success can be fleeting, but that true talent endures. Her journey shows that no matter how far you fall, it is possible to stand up again, to reclaim your voice, and to shine even brighter. When we look at Winona Ryder, we see more than an actress. We see a woman who defined a generation, who gave us characters we'll never forget, and who proved that redemption is possible. From quirky goth teens to heartbreaking mothers, from cult classics to global sensations, her career is a story of evolution. This is the story of Winona Ryder. From a shy girl in Minnesota with big dreams to one of the most iconic actresses of her time. From the dizzying highs of Hollywood fame to the crushing lows of public scandal, and back to the triumphant return that reminded us why we fell in love with her in the first place. Thank you for staying with us until the very end of this journey through the life and career of Winona Ryder. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to Nation of Glory, hit the like button, and share this video with others who love stories of resilience, triumph, and Hollywood legends. Until next time, thank you, and we'll see you soon.